Obstruction to justice. Obstruction to justice.
Justice now.
Well, hello, and welcome to another broadcast of Obstruction to Justice. I'm Ann Moles, and we just here on Obstruction to Justice, we just talk about different discussions of what's going on, current events of the day, news, relevant topics, and highlighting politics, and of course, my favorite, business. And today we're going to be talking with James J.B. Price, owner of Turn-N-Headz Barbershop. Welcome, brother JB.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Doing well, thanks. Doing well. Brother JB, we're just so glad that you just took it's busy out there. That's what you do. You're as far as barbershopping and everything, it's busy. It ain't Monday, it's Wednesday today. So you've had a long, full day. Do you
I
guys
did.
work on Mondays, by the way?
No, we don't.
Okay,
We're
all
closed
right.
Sundays and Mondays.
Close
Yeah.
Sundays and Mondays. I
I
thought
don't know
so.
why, but I'm cool with it.
There's got to be one, actually 2 days. You guys go hard on that Saturday and
Oh
everything.
my God.
That Saturday is big. That's how I actually was introduced to your team there. As far as when that
hmm
was on a Saturday when we hung out, and I had a chance to meet you and your crew, and
hmm
came in, and customer service was on point. I brought in my grandson, my oldest grandson. Shout out to my oldest grandson. It was some years ago, and came in, and Big Mama trying to get his hair cut and everything, and you guys hooked him up, and gave him the cut that I asked for. Now that's kind of hard.
Yeah, it is.
So some you asked, look, this is the kind of cut I want, and it's like that brother threw it right on his head, and I was going for a while. I went over there for a while. Then he got older, and of course his parents, stepped in and wanted to
hmm
go ahead and support him. But brother JB, you have a story to tell as far as your business is concerned, and I'm very proud of you, my brother, because you have been hanging in there, and you provide jobs to brothers, that are in the business. They're artistes par excellence. When
hmm
you and your crew, you guys get down. I'm telling you,
Thank you.
do great work. But I want to talk about it. The first question I ask is, how did you get started? Because that's the first question. That's what
Ooh.
people want to know most. They want to know, look, how did you do it? How did you get started?
You want
After that.
the short version or the long version?
Well, give whatever version you like.
Okay.
We have time on this, but we have a couple other things to share. But look, give whatever version you like.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you the long version.
Okay. That's
Because I
cool.
mean it's part of my testimony. So
All right.
I've been cutting my hair since I was 13 years old. I started in the eighth grade, and I just started cutting my own hair just because I moved out of my neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
I didn't trust any other barber. Shout out to Antoine and Fat Sam, who was cutting my hair at the time. And then when I moved from the 50s down to 24th in Park, where my grandmother lived, I couldn't find anybody that can really cut my hair the way that I wanted. Like you just said, it's hard
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
for people to, and then it's just like, the client barber relationship is so, it's like it's like a marriage, you know what I mean?
It is
And
it's a personal thing. It's
yeah,
like hair.
definitely.
This is my style. This is my signature.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's hard to, you get a divorce or something, it's hard to go back out there and and find another mate. So I was like, let me go ahead and see if I could do this myself.
Uh-huh.
So my brother had bought me a pair of clippers, and I went to work, and lo and behold, I did a pretty good job to where people were giving me compliments like, "Hey man, where you get your hair cut?" Now, it took me about 4 hours because I was very particular in how I wanted my hair. And back then we used to wear the boxes, so my box had to be, in perfect symmetric shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So,
do.
I just started getting other people in the neighborhood that was like, "Hey, can you cut my hair?" So I started with $5. $5 went to $7. $7 went to $10. And this as years went on, cutting family members, and then cutting best friends, and then their family members. So I I learned at a young age how to cut hair, but that was
Mhm.
plan B. Plan A was for me to be a rap star. I want to be the next, Lil
What?
Wayne. Yeah, so I was um I was rapping around the same time. 12, actually I was rapping first, but I ended up years later graduating high school, and then we just started like touring a little bit. Then I got saved, and when I got saved, I understood now the calling that God had on my life
Mhm.
was not
Mhm.
to quit rapping, but just to switch partners, switch conversations, switch the message
Right.
of what I needed to be rapping about. So I stopped the touring, I stopped all that stuff, and I even stopped rapping for a minute because I just wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about. If you want to teach computers or whatever, you're gonna go to computer school.
Right.
You're not just gonna start teaching computers. So, as I grew in the Lord and that stuff, I started applying that to my message in rap. Now, um, I wanted to open a mobile barbershop. I wanted to get like a U-Haul and kind of make that look like a barbershop. And
Mhm.
then I pull up on people because I was used to pulling up on people and going and cutting on their toilets and stuff because
Right.
that's what I had to do back in the day. And I ended up at a guy named Chico's barbershop in Blue Springs, same strip mall that I'm at, 782 Southwest US 40 Highway, Blue Springs. Come and holler at me, Turn-N-Headz Barbershop. But
And we're gonna give that address. We're gonna give it again if you didn't
okay,
catch it. So
all
yeah,
right,
we're gonna
all right.
give it again for
I give it
sure.
to you how many times you need it. And so he ended up recruiting me. And oh shoot, I went to barber school, of course. I was working a 9 to 5, working UPS, and then
Okay,
working.
hold on now. Now you're giving all these wonderful nuggets,
Uh-huh.
young brother. Okay,
Uh-huh.
uh, African American descent. Just like me, huh?
Uh-huh.
We're talking about staying focused, but
Mm-hmm.
here, uh, staying focused on what you enjoy doing. So you were into the hip
Uh-huh.
hop scene, the rap scene,
Mm-hmm.
but then of course wanting to keep your look up,
Mm-hmm.
mm, and doing that, and
Mm-hmm.
then here there was a problem. So
Mm-hmm.
when we're talking about business, and this might be old hat to some,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't care what business you're in, your business has to solve a problem.
Yes.
And your problem was that you couldn't just go somewhere and just have them cut what you wanted them to cut. They
Mm-hmm.
just didn't have that gift. And see, we hadn't even talked about this before we came on. I said, I walked into your shop
Uh-huh.
and I told the man what I needed for this cut to be on my grandson. And you guys put it on his head.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fact.
so that was before you had even started telling. So that was a gift. That was the need in
That was
that
the need.
you were wanting to provide that type of, you needed that type of service. And then
Mm-hmm.
out of that, what grows is the need where you could take that gift and then provide it to others, and
Mm-hmm.
then they're willing to pay for it. That's
There you
what
have
business
it.
is all about,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
we're talking about real business. We're not talking about slinging drugs, because the society has set us up to where if they want to talk us into, and I'm talking about people of color, it doesn't matter, even European American youth, it doesn't matter. Get
Mm-hmm.
you caught up in a system to where you feel there's no hope. So
Mm-hmm.
you see the bling, but you don't know how to get the bling.
Mm-hmm.
See, that was always my issue when it came to hip hop, rapper, artists, or whatever. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
talking about the bling. I'm like, where the bling? How do you get it? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is how you get it. God has given us all something, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
given us all something because we're here as on purpose. We're not here just to be here. We're not a
Mm-hmm.
mistake. I don't care
No.
what society says, about our culture and all that. Look, we're here and we're here on purpose. So what we are needing to do, just like that we're just not going to talk about what you do that as far as your barbershop, but you're
Mm-hmm.
going to share a couple of other things too. But what I heard was, look, you solved a problem. So I want to go there,
Mm-hmm.
solve a problem. Then from there, take the initiative to where you perfect the craft. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a problem there, but now you get a chance to perfect how you're going to solve it.
Amen.
Okay, that's another part of business. Just because you have your shingle up, that doctor, he had to go to doctor school, right?
Yes, ma'am.
He had to go to med
Had
school,
to.
huh?
Had
To
to.
know what was going on. And with you said here was the problem you're solving is barber. So you went to barber school,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know you had to spend some time, burn the candle on both ends, because I also heard you say you are a responsible person to where you knew you had to take care of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you had your family then, maybe not.
Nah, I have my son. Yes, I did have my son.
Okay, but you had to take care of yourself,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And this is something else that's amazing to me. How is it that people want to go into a relationship and call and holler 50-50? You pay half and the other pay half, right? So they want to
Mm-hmm.
go into a relationship as a man, but if you have to pay all the rent if were by yourself anyway.
Anyway,
Huh?
yeah.
So you took
And
care of
I'm an
your.
old school. I'm an old school guy.
Okay, well,
So
tell the story now. See,
I'm an old school guy. I took care of my wife and my kids. I didn't, she didn't have a job. I wanted her to raise my kids. I didn't
thank
want,
you, Jesus. Oh my goodness.
someone to raise my kids,
Hmm.
babysitter, things of that nature. I said, hey, you take care of that, and I'll hold this down. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And to this day, I tell her, hey, you don't have to work. I'll take care of that. You just make sure that you fulfill, the duties of a wife, of a parent, of a servant, all of those things, and leave the rest up to me. But she has chosen to go to nursing school. She's chosen to go to cosmetology school. She's chosen these things so that she can kind of have something to bring to the table. And I don't mind that. So, I'm not
Yeah.
complaining at all. But
Yeah.
at first, I was always an advocate for taking care of your wife and your kids.
And,
And,
and that's important. I appreciate you saying that, JB, because
hmm
here you're a rap artist at
hmm
heart. God gave you something to say, and you're a rap artist. That's what you want. That's what you aspire to do, huh?
hmm
And then there's so many other gifts and talents that He's given you too, right?
hmm
So for the young man, and even though you're old school, you're still a young man,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
And for that, other young men can learn from it. Just they say, "Well, I don't care what this guy doing. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me." Okay, well, this is the better us. This is
hmm
this brother here. None of us are perfect. I'm not
hmm
trying to pump folks up. None of us are perfect. But what you're doing for your family, for yourself, you're living the better life for yourself too.
hmm
See, let's be selfish about this.
Yeah.
You're doing what you're doing, all of what you can for yourself. And then, oh, by the way, this is me. Those kids are mine. That
hmm
wife is mine, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have to go out and have all the different girls or whatever. I have
hmm
discipline. I'm not
Yeah.
living in beast mode.
Yeah.
Huh? I'm
Yeah.
living as a
Those
man.
days are far behind me.
Ooh, yeah. All right. So so the last point that I want to make on this one before you go on is that
hmm
you had to put something in it. Okay, so it wasn't easy working the job and doing the business and going to school or whatever. These are things that we sacrifice to do, and you grind to do it, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think you know how like you can put something in front of an ant and make that ant go wherever you want it to go. I
Mhm.
felt like that's what God was doing with me. He was directing my steps because I didn't want to be a barber per se. You know what I mean? I don't mind doing it now. You know what I mean? Because I love helping. I love helping people out. I love making people look better, making them feel confident, and stuff like that. But the bigger mission for me is to be used as a tool
Mhm.
to reach those who are in darkness and to edify those who are of the light.
Yeah.
And he uses the barbershop as a station to do that, and he's using me as a conduit to to convey the message in which he wants to give to whoever comes to sit in the chair. And it took me a minute to understand how to to witness to someone without, hey, Jesus, do you know this and that, as they, start to conversate with me and let me in on their life, the Holy Spirit lets me know that, okay, this is what you need to tell this individual.
Wow.
Or he'll just say, be quiet and just listen. Or he'll say, pray for him. Or he'll say, take him to the back room and bring him to salvation. So I have done all of these
Wow.
things multiple times, like throughout. I mean, my anniversary is tomorrow. It'll be 12 years I've been open. I opened up in '09. So he's been doing this thing for a while now. And hindsight is 2020. I didn't know this is what he was doing before. I just know that he made me very uncomfortable with working at a regular job.
Mhm.
He made me uncomfortable at being told what to do, how to do, when to do. And I feel like supervisors, managers, things of that nature, they abuse their authority a lot. And it didn't sit right with me. So the last straw of my job, it was one of those situations where, hey, I mean, I did everything I needed to do, but you want me to do more stuff that
Mhm.
didn't require, it wasn't in my job title to do,
Mhm.
but you gonna make me do it because you're in position to do it. And being transparent, I called my wife and I said, I want to quit. Like, I don't know what to do. I got to
Mhm.
take care of you guys. My son was just born at the time. I got rent. I got all of this. He like, just quit. I'm like, just quit. That's not. I don't have another job. I still got to pay this stuff. She's like, I'll get a job. I'm like, nah, nah, nah. So I just sucked it up and I went through it for another, let's say about 3 or 4 months. But what happened was I got fired
Oh,
for
see?
coming in late. See, the Lord knew I wasn't gonna quit, so
Mhm.
he had to
He
fire
had to do something. I know tell
me. And
that testimony.
how he did it, it was so amazing because I got fired. I was just like, fired for what? He's like, cause you're late. I'm like, this is a commission job. I'm just not hourly. I'm like 10 minutes late. All the cars are done. I was detailing for Baron BMW. I'm like,
Mhm.
I did all the cars yesterday. I knew what needed to go in the morning. I already did those. Like, what do I need to be here at 9 for? It's 9:20. Just
Mhm.
because we require you to be here. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. And then the assistant supervisor said, hey, why don't you just call unemployment? I was like, unemployment? I never heard of unemployment.
See?
He said, why don't you just
Mm-mm-mm.
call unemployment and see how much money you got? I'm like, unemployment for real? So so I called unemployment and I had like, what was it, $11,000 in unemployment that
Mhm.
I have racked up,
Mhm.
over the years of working. And I said, oh, shoot. So they put me on hold for a minute so they can find out. They had a conference call or whatever
Yeah.
because they disputed. They said, no,
Mhm.
he don't need unemployment. So they went through all of that.
I've been through it.
In the meantime, I went to a barber school and I acquired about how long it would take for me to go to barber school and this and that, right? So, so they told me, okay, this is where I met Derek at. We started
Oh.
on the same day at barber school,
Mm-hmm.
and they told me it would take 10 months for me to complete barber school. So I was like, okay. So after I did the conference call or whatever, they told me, okay, they didn't have enough evidence to prove that you don't deserve this unemployment. So we're
Mm-hmm.
going to give you this unemployment, and it's going to last for 10 months. So I said, hold on. I get
There's
10
no
months.
accident or coincidence.
That exactly.
My
So I said,
goodness.
oh wow. So in a nutshell, I went to barber school, got out. I met a guy named Chico who was right down the way from the my current barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
And another story, I moved out here to Blue Springs. I used to live in the city.
Mm-hmm.
When I got saved, I felt like there's a lot of distractions and stuff down there. So for me to really walk this thing out the way that I know the Lord want me to,
Mm-hmm.
he wants me to kind of get away from those distractions. So my wife was like, hey, have you considered moving to Blue Springs? I'm like, no, ain't that like 2 hours away? I never knew where Blue Springs was.
Right, right.
So she was like, no, let's just go out here and check out this townhome. Went out there, checked out the townhome. Got the townhome. It was like the lady was like, "This is a long list, but I like you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip you up to the front, and y'all
Wow.
can move in
Favor.
3 days." In 3 days, I said,
Favor.
"Whoa!" So I was like, "All right, cool." My neighbor plays chess. I've been playing chess since I was 7. My mother taught me. Well, actually, my mother's sponsor taught
Wow.
me because she was, on that end. Not to put her out there like that, but she's been
But
clean for
no, what? Praise
30
God for
years.
overcoming. She
Yes,
overcame that.
yes,
God's given her the strength and
yes,
everything. But here, look, she still poured into you. See,
yes.
people want to talk about family and how they had this bad family and this
Mhm.
happened and this mama, this daddy, and I understand.
Yes,
I get
yes,
it.
yes.
But God,
But God. So he put this sponsor in our life and he taught us how to play chess. And I whooped on my neighbor, my new neighbor in Blue Springs. I whooped on him so much. He said, I'm going to take you somewhere. I bet you can't beat him. I'm like, man, take me. He took me to the barbershop. This is where I met Chico.
oh my goodness.
So Chico and I, we battle out. He beat me once, I beat him once. And we getting to talk as we're playing. And he's like, I'm like, man, I'm in barber school. He's like, oh wow, I got a chair available. I'm like, all right, well shoot. If my whole little mobile barber thing don't work, I'll give you a call. And a few months later comes by, I graduate barber school. I called Chico. I said, hey man, yeah, the mobile barber thing ain't gonna work out. He
Well, right
said,
there. Now, here's another thing that
uh-huh,
people want to think that. I mean, one opportunity that doesn't make it 100%, and people want
mhm,
to give up.
yeah,
Oh, I'm a mobile barber. It didn't work, or what? Look, brother
yeah,
said, look, okay, it didn't work. Here's B plan or whatever. But here's
yeah,
a plan that I've already. See, that's your network of people. So the networking, we're talking about business networking here now.
uh-huh,
Mhm.
yes.
Go ahead.
And it didn't work because I don't know if you remember, that's when gas started going up. This is
Mhm.
the spark of the gas going up, and I was like, man, I'm gonna be spending a lot of money putting in this truck, and I'm only the haircuts back then was like $13.
Mhm.
15 was very expensive for a haircut.
Mhm.
So I was like, this is not going to really be lucrative for me
Mhm.
to be traveling all around. Now when the gas was 95 cents, $1.25 or whatever,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean it was up to like 2 something.
Okay.
So
So I heard right there, business plan, guys.
yep,
He did
yep.
a business analysis to see whether or not this business was going to pay off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we do that. We teach at ASBNC Training and Consulting. We
Mm-hmm.
actually walk you through working on a business plan. So go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So Chico, he hires me. I was there for 2.5 years. Everything seemed to be going good with me. or to me, and Chico says, "Hey, I want to move somewhere else." He was there for 6 years. He's like, a place just opened up, Texas Roadhouse in that area over there started being developed right off of 70, and he's like, put a shop over there, and that fell through. So he says to me, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to cut out your house for a minute before I can find something else." I'm sitting here like, no, I'm not cutting out my house. I'm not bringing people to my place of solace. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And where my wife and my kids are.
That's a man decision too,
Yeah,
guys. There's nothing wrong with being a brother. Be that
yeah,
man to say no. It's okay, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So that didn't work out. So come to find out, Chico had something up his sleeve. He owed the people
Oh.
at the strip mall. He was trying to dip on them. So he told me they're kicking us out, and I'm going to take this time to open something else up. But that didn't happen. So when I called the landlord, I said, "Hey, how much do we owe you so we can just pay?" I had some savings. I'm like, "So we can just pay you what we owe you,
Savings.
and we can stay here." And the guy says, "Chico doesn't owe me anything." Or he said, I haven't talked to Chico in 3 months. Yes, he owes me money, but I'm not kicking you guys out." So I'm sitting here like, why did he tell me that we're getting put out? Gonna find out because he was trying to dip. So
Okay.
what I
Yeah.
said was, I said, "Okay, so how about this? How about I'll take over the lease whenever he wants to leave and do whatever he's doing, because it seems like he don't want to be here." So he said, "Okay, let's go ahead and make that happen. When he leaves, we'll put you in his spot." Long story short, now here's where the long story turns short. He didn't leave that spot. He left things in there deliberately so that nobody could move in. So that's when I found the spot down the way where
Down
I'm
the
at
way.
now. And I was scared because I'm like, okay, I'm starting from ground zero, but I have enough clientele. I met a guy named Marcus at the barber school. I call him up. I say, "Hey, what do you think about, joining
Coming
me
out.
and cutting hair?" He said, "Man, this is right on time. I just got laid off a week ago." I'm like, "Wow, really?" I said, "Hey, man, do this with me." He said, "All right, cool." So it started off with me and Marcus, who now owns Precision Line on the other end of Blue Springs. So he worked up clientele enough to leave and open another business. So, and I
This
have
is so
and
exciting.
I have 5 barbers who I have come into the Turn-N-Headz family, worked up their clientele enough to move and build their own business. So
Wow.
there's 5 businesses out here. Other barbershops, actually there's 4. It's about to be 5 because I have one right now that's about to leave and open up a business. So
Isn't that important? Doesn't that make
yeah,
you feel great?
it does. It does.
Because some people, old school business. Look,
Uh-huh.
you come and work for me, you
Yeah,
belong to me, and
yeah,
everything. I'm like, what? Don't you want to just share to where you teach a man to fish,
yeah,
right? Let him go fish,
yeah,
right? And that broadens to me, that's what broadens the circle there too.
yeah,
You have other people that are out there doing what you do, but it just makes it better. There's no
yeah,
competition in that because there's only, and we're talking about time. That's something that we're going to talk about, the economics of time.
yes,
We're talking about microeconomics. We shared on that last week. But when it comes to time, there's only one person can only do so much. One
yeah,
barbershop
man.
can only do so much. Why not get to the point to where there's more, competition is healthy.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's not really competition. It's just that you can only do so much with one
yes, ma'am.
shop or
Yes,
two
ma'am.
shops or 5 shops or whatever. Now you have an invested interest in
Bam.
4 other shops,
Yeah,
huh?
that part. Now, the initial feeling, I'm not gonna lie, was like, why would you want to leave? You're making good money, right? But they have dreams, they have aspirations of their own, and I can't get in the way of that. So
Woo.
I allowed them to stay, make their money while their shops were being, renovated and getting
What
everything
a
where it needed to
story.
be. And then they let me know, hey, all right, this is my last week, man. I thank you for allowing me to not just firing me and putting me out and putting a stop to all of this stuff, because I ain't gonna front. One of them, I didn't want to do that, but God wouldn't allow me to
See?
because of how it happened. It didn't come
Mhm.
out like, hey, man, I thank you for the opportunity. And it was more like, I'm doing this on the side and I'm about to try to just leave you in the dark. But whatever is done in the dark is gonna come to
It's
light,
gonna
and it
come to light. He
came
gonna,
to
yeah.
light, and it ain't, and it wasn't how he planned it. But I showed him grace, and I said, you know what, it's okay. There's seasons to everything, and this is your season is up here. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So do what you have to do to get this shop prepared, and you have my blessings, and God bless you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
Right.
and that's happened to Marcus was first, Lou was second. He owns Solutions Barbershop on 40. Um, who was third? Josh was third. He owns Fades in Warrensburg. Casey owns the Barber Lounge in Raytown, and then Mikey's about to open Clean Cuts Barbershop in Independence. So I'm not salty. I feel like God has put me in these men's life so that they could not only fulfill my dream and help me with mine, but I can help them with theirs.
Wow.
Sometimes we can't always think about us and
Mhm.
it's about me, myself, and I, but we have to think about the people that God put in our lives and
And
how
the
we could help
community.
them as well. Yeah.
And the community. How, yes, because there's no accidents or coincidence, but what I'm hearing, even on a secular level here,
Hmm.
is community.
Yes.
So you had a chance. This is how you invested in your community. I
Yes.
want to show the shop. I'm excited. There's a picture out there now. He's on Facebook, guys. So I'm getting ready to share. Let me go ahead and share this. He's on Facebook, the Turn-N-Headz. That's TURN dash the capital letter N dash HEADZ. And let's see, can you see this? Yeah. This is the shop here, guys. Now this shop is very cool, huh? The TVs are up here, and I know you based on his conversation, you know what kind of barbershop it is. Now, usually what goes on in a barbershop stays in a barbershop. And
Hmm.
it's still true, right? But
Hmm.
what happens when you come into this barbershop, you're going to be encouraged,
Hmm.
edified, huh?
Hmm.
Built up. The conversation isn't going to be all raunchy. Hmm?
Hmm.
Because I've come in and I've had to sit with my grandson. Yeah, I'm not gonna just come in and just drop him off. I mean, I did that one or two times, but I come in, I get to sit, and being a lady, so yeah, the first time I felt a little uncomfortable in that, around these brothers, because in my mind, the typical barbershop, they was just gonna go in and talk all kind, and whatever, you hear all the stories about it, but your barbershop is not that way. You have the
Hmm.
TVs going, but you have the inspirational music
Hmm.
going,
Yeah.
and young people are in there with their dads, too, their moms, or whoever. Now I'm big mama, so I had mine in there, and now these pictures are profiles, so I'm okay with sharing on these, but look at that, huh? Look at that design.
Yeah.
KC stars, whatever you got
Oh,
it going on,
wow.
huh?
I haven't seen these in a long time. It's crazy because one of those pictures, that guy, I still cut. He's like about to graduate. He's like a kid here. He's about to graduate.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
See?
wild.
So
Yeah.
you're talking about the relationship, investing in other barbershops. You've
Hmm.
increased your circle of influence, poured into the community. Brother,
Mm-hmm.
you are on a roll. You're
Thank
just,
you.
hey, you are on a roll. Now, I do want to share too. Now, it hasn't been all grits and gravy, huh,
No, it hasn't.
out there. And I'm
No,
gonna
it hasn't.
share this other I'm gonna share this other story uh that had went on. And if you can, just tell us a little bit about what went on here.
Hmm. So here is a picture of me sitting in front of my shop. Within the background um is
Oh
wrote
yeah.
on the window, "Die inward."
Mm,
We know what that word is.
mm-hmm.
And it was a shock to me. I thought Derek was playing when he called me and said, "Hey man, uh, there's some stuff wrote on the windows. I think you need to come up here and check it out." I'm like, "What's wrote on the window?" He's like, "I'm not gonna tell you over the phone. I think you need to come and check it out."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "All right." So I pull up, and this is what I see.
Mm-hmm.
And I had mixed feelings. I'm sitting here like, is this a joke? And then I start thinking deeper, like, well, shoot, I am in the suburbs. I am in Blue Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, wow, is this a real life threat? Like, are they saying, die inward, like they want to kill me? They want me dead? So all of these things are going through my head. So I call my wife. I say, you won't believe what I'm looking at. So I tell her. She's like, oh no, I'm calling somebody. I'm like, you calling somebody? Who you calling? I'll call you back. I'm calling somebody. So she hangs up with me. Gonna find out she called the news. She called Channel 4, 5, 9, all these
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So she's like, I want to expose this. She was like, don't get
Don't
rid
touch
of it.
it.
Leave it
Don't.
up there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Leave it up there. So shoot, about an hour later, I get a call from from Channel 4, I think first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we want to come up there and we want to interview you on this. I said, hey, feel free, come on up, because what it's doing is it's shedding light
Mm-hmm.
on what's really going on in our backyard that people
Yeah.
think is don't exist no more.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think racism don't exist no more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this was a clear depiction that it's very well and alive,
Very much alive.
and it's right in our backyard.
Right
You
in our
don't have to go
backyard.
far to experience these things, especially not as a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can ignore a lot of stuff, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because we're just built to, ignore certain things. But this right here couldn't be ignored. It had to be exposed,
Yeah.
and I think it brought the community together. I got over 100 calls and
Mm-hmm.
emails and text messages of how can I help? I'm sorry this happened to you. I don't feel that way. I mean, showered us with lunch all throughout the week. People gave me money. They started a GoFundMe. I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was it was special. It was a special moment for me because I'm like, even though what Satan meant for bad,
Mm.
God meant for good. So
Yes.
even though this was supposed to intimidate me, make me leave or something like that, it only made me want to stay even more and shed some light on the ignorance at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and let them know that I'm not scared and I'm not intimidated, and we
Mm-hmm.
are here to stay. There's African Americans moving out here by the droves. You know what I mean? And you got to deal with us. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
just because you're gonna write this stuff on here, it's not gonna make me up and move or none of that stuff. It's really
Mm-hmm.
gonna make me. You're gonna make me run for mayor out here or something. You know what I mean?
You know they have Ross out there.
Yeah,
And
and
it's like he just live in at the what is it? What is it when you municipal what at Blue
the
Springs? He just
blue.
lives out there, you
Oh yeah,
know.
oh yes. He
Brother
he
Big.
really he really lives out here anyway. But
Yes.
yeah, I've had a talk with him,
Okay.
and he actually says, "Hey man, I want you to go and take these steps so that you could, you know, probably run
Mhm.
for mayor?
Well, yeah.
This is what I was getting out of the conversation. I'm like, who, me? No, I'm not that type. You know what I mean? I'm not a
Yeah.
mayor type, you know. But after hearing this story, because we did an interview with a guy, Case, what is it, KN, his podcast, it escapes me, but people heard this thing like on the radio. They kept calling me like, "Man, I heard you on." I'm like, "Damn, that dude is that popular." He's on Truth, UMKC.
Okay.
Oh man, it escapes me. But yeah, we did an interview about this, and afterwards, me and Mr. Ross, we talked for like 30, 45 minutes in a parking lot. And he
Mhm.
was just giving me his story of how he became mayor, what he wanted to do, and his aspirations. And I was just like, man, I'm really like intrigued of his story and how he was trying to put out there, like, man, here's my card. Or no, he said, I'm gonna send somebody to your shop and I'm gonna have her give you a card. Make sure that you call this person because they're gonna prepare you to try to get in position to run. I'm like,
Well,
what?
the point is that Ross he's a good guy. He's been a
Yeah,
good mayor,
yeah,
right? And Blue Springs, it's a great town. It
yeah,
really is. And it's grown and they've done a lot.
yeah.
They're very progressive when it comes to all of what they do. The police force,
Mm-hmm,
they're progressive in that. I know that the police force out here in Oak Grove, they network with the police force in Blue Springs, in
mm-hmm,
Green Valley. They're just kind of a tight knit community, even still. So there's some great police officers out here in Oak Grove. They really
mm-hmm,
are. I've been through the where you're a citizen, the citizen training for to go in and see what the police officers do. It's a
mm-hmm,
citizen training class, right?
mm-hmm,
And it's like 6 weeks long. I went through all of that, had a chance to meet some great people. But the whole point is that Blue Springs is a great town. Ross has been a great mayor. He's been
mm-hmm,
really good. That's why he's there. So, he's been there.
mm-hmm,
And it's just a great area. And I think that when you see people who are entrepreneurial in spirit and mind and what they do for their communities, not being selfish with what it is that you do, but sharing and giving other business opportunities,
mm-hmm.
to other men. I mean, look, ladies, without look, brothers are there. I don't care what color you are, European American, African American, whatever a person you are as far as culture, you still need a good man, okay? And if that's what you desire. And this is an example of how brothers are pouring into their community, their families. They're pouring in so that they can develop healthy people. And see, to me, that's what he was attracted to, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was attracted to your enthusiasm, but also your tenacity in life
Mm-hmm.
as a brother,
Yeah,
as a man. Okay. I'm
yeah.
talking to guys, men, let's not give up, brothers, men, of all colors and
Mm-hmm.
races. Let's not give up. It's more than just the woman out there with the kids. Folks need good men, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is what makes families, and families is good, strong, healthy families is what makes a healthy community. And
Amen.
a healthy community, whether it's local or national, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
the nucleus of a good healthy national world, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's what he was looking for, and he
Yeah.
was looking at, and why not, right? Why not put it in the right perspective? Because if you're that much of a light to where God has gifted you to build, right?
Mm-hmm.
And guys, what James has done, brother JB, he's not. Everyone has the opportunity to do it too. If you wake
Amen.
up every day, that gift of life is what it takes. Look, just get up. Just wake
Yep.
up. Half the battle of winning and overcoming is just showing up. Show up to work. Do a
Yeah.
good job. Burn some midnight oil. Write the business plan.
Yeah.
Get some self-control about you. I say, get saved, but get the self-control about you.
Yeah.
And then that way that'll lead you and guide you and get you to the point to where you can see to do better. So
Yeah.
yeah, wonderful. What a great story. Oh my goodness. This is I'm just overwhelmed in that. Look, people just don't get it. It's
Yeah.
more to it. We don't see, and I think that they're trying to show more positive role models. And brother, you might not consider yourself to be a role model, but today at this point and during this broadcast, you are a role model. And for everyone that's listening to this, share it with other young people, young men.
Hmm.
We need you to know, men, that you are important. You are
Yes, ma'am.
important, important, important. And you have so much laying on your shoulders, but you can do it. You can bear that and grow in that, huh? And
Yes, ma'am.
make the world a better place.
Yes, ma'am. That's
Okay.
that's what I feel like, as far as, me being a barbershop owner or whatever. I never really thought that I would be put in a position like this, but I'm here and God expects me to do something with, the time, the resources, the space that I have,
Hmm.
and not just use it to make money for my
Hmm.
family, because I have more space than I need, and everything that you get in abundance or your overflow is not for you, it's for other people. So the overflow goes to the other people in which who he brings to the table. You know what I mean? And if they're part of the Turn-N-Headz family, then they get to experience the overflow that comes from me, or that comes from God
That
through
comes from
me.
God.
And
That's it.
yeah, yeah. So definitely, I understand my role uh, in this whole thing called life, and I'm just trying to be a good steward over what God has given me. You know what I mean? And in any instant, I want to start living for myself or start, taking all the glory and the credit. I can end up like the guy named Chico. You know what I mean? And everything can be taken away from me. You know what I mean? And I don't want to put him out there like that. I love Chico.
We're
I
gonna,
thank
yeah,
him
pray
for
for Chico.
for even believing in
He
me.
he had
But
his place, and as long as he
yeah,
wakes up every day, there's still redemption opportunity.
there is. But he,
Tell me about now when I called to see if you be on the broadcast, brother King, you want to come and be on the broadcast? When I called, you were working on a car,
uh-huh.
huh? Tell me a little bit about that. See,
So
you do
yeah,
different things, huh?
I'm what you call a jack of all trades. I want them seven streams of income. You know what I mean? I want to be able to whatever God allows me or puts in front of me, the opportunities, I want to take advantage of those things. And if it's something that I can't figure out, and then I'm cool with just saying, okay, maybe this is not my lane. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you can't be all over the road,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I get it.
certain things just clicks for me. And I sell cars. My brother introduced another business venture, said that he wants to partner up and create a dealership to where we can, sell cars and things of that nature, get your dealer's license. And I am an agent under his dealership license.
Hmm.
And I go to the auction and I buy cars and I fix them up and then I sell them for blue book value. So we buy at black book, which is cheaper than blue book. But then
Okay.
once you fix the car up and get it up to par, then you can sell it for blue book.
Hmm.
So there's always a little profit in there, but what I try to do is make the car affordable for people. So usually my cars are like 3,000 and under. Very rarely am I selling a car over $3,000, just because it's hard to come up with 35, 4,000, 45. But it's easy to come up with $1,500, $2,000,
Right.
$2,500.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I try to do is buy cars that are affordable for people. And it's been about 2 years now. We have a lot on 44th and Truce. Um, I try I try to be able to buy cars, put them on a lot, but before I could put them on a lot, I already sold them. You know what I mean?
That's all
So
right.
that's a good problem to have.
That is a very
And
good problem.
I
Supply and
found
demand there.
so
Good
so
turnover.
yeah, exactly. So in doing that, I'm sitting here like, everybody heard of Carvana. You go online, you give the specs and everything that you want, and then Carvana finds a car for you. I call myself the hood Carvana. You tell me the year, make, model, mileage of the car that you desire. I go to the auction. I try to find that exact car, and then I ride them. I check the oil and all of that stuff. Make sure everything is up to par. I take pictures of them. I send them to you, about 4 or 5 different pictures, or 4 or 5 different vehicles. You give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then I bid on the ones that you give me a thumbs up on, and I end up getting at least one of the cars that you want. And then I say, hey, congratulations, you got you a 2008 Ford Fusion, 132,000 miles, and I'll meet up with you later so we can do the transaction. And
I will
doing
go ahead, because
and,
I want to just prove one little thing. Go ahead, though. I need
and
to
in
hear it.
and in doing that, I don't have them they don't put no down payment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really just trusting their word that they're gonna pay,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna sell the car regardless. But I
Right.
would like to sell it to you because this is
What
handpicked
you like,
by
right?
you. You know what I mean? And I've had some people, oh yeah, something happened. I'm like, it's all good. I sell the car anyway, and I end up getting more money for the car than
Yeah.
initially I was gonna get from you. So it's like God gave me double for my trouble.
There
But
you
anywho,
go.
so I like doing that. And so my brother like, man, you ain't got nothing on the lot, nothing on the lot. So I'm like, man, because I'm shopping for individuals. So I'll have 3 different people. I'll go out, I'll find their
And
cars.
the car is sold. The money isn't sitting on the lot. The
Mm-mm.
turnover, so it's liquid again, so that you can go and reinvest it.
There you have
Mhm.
it. There you have it.
Mhm.
So, and it's been pretty lucrative. Now, what it has been doing is taking me away from the shop. Um, from Tuesday through Thursday, I don't get in till like noon or 1 o'clock because the auctions they start at 9. They don't end till like 11, 11:30, sometimes 12. So my days are cut short a little bit, but it's cool because I'm still able to go in from 1 to 7. That's 6 hours of cutting and
Right.
conversating and
Right.
still doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's giving me another opportunity
Another
to help
avenue.
people out. You know what I
Well,
mean?
another avenue that's gonna
Help me, help them.
but another avenue too for income. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to prove that point too, because there's no, I know stimulus checks are coming out, guys. I think the
Hmm.
stimulus situation is going to be even more than what people are realizing. They're going to make a big turnaround, and they're just going to keep throwing money out there, but it's never going to be enough, right?
Hmm.
To be that responsible person. I think it'll be maybe some seed money to go. Uh, be that responsible person and build to that. But I do want to mention what you're doing is not unusual, even for millionaires. Okay.
Hmm.
I know of a millionaire here in the greater, that made their millions in real estate here in
Hmm.
the greater Kansas City area. Right. They bought and sold and did the real estate for, in Raytown, Ruskin Heights, all of those, sort of oppressed areas, so say, right?
Hmm.
Lower social economic areas, and they made millions, right? And they retired. But what they also did, and what they were sharing, is that there's no holds barred when it comes to making good, honest money. Just
Hmm.
got to think about what opportunities are out there, and then take your time, which is a commodity in itself. The most precious commodity that you have is your time, to
Amen.
go out there and come up with the concept and just work it into where you can. Now, what they were saying, they bought and sold, they stayed focused on particular big vehicles like the trucks or whatever, but the same concept is there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this guy is a millionaire. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying, I'm not going to get into your socioeconomic status right here because,
Mm-hmm.
what profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Or what would a man give in exchange for? We're not going there. I'm not trying to, because right now the dollar ain't worth really. People are going to see this god of money is crashing down right in front of our eyes.
Yeah,
They're just
man.
giving it away, right? And inflation is just ridiculous, and it's going to be even more ridiculous. But the whole case in point of what we're sharing here today is that you can make it, you can
Mm-hmm.
do it, huh?
Yep.
Here's another business guy, owner who is just taking his life to be in business. I already shared with you. I know lots of people that just can't stand going to a job, right? But you hung in there on the job until transition came because you had responsibility. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what the whole thing is. Look, you hang in there with the job long enough until you get enough about you to where you have your business plan together and
Mm-hmm.
you've counted the costs, and then you get out there and do it, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
Not, oh, I'm just gonna go, and then you give up, and then you Pookie and Ray Ray, and you up there playing the video games because you didn't gave up. No, go out there and prove that that's what you're wanting to do. Do the sacrificing. If you hate working for others enough, then you'll get that business plan together, and you'll hop along and cut keep your resource, keep your overhead low to where it's not being ate up by whatever profit you have. Your profit isn't being ate up because of your overhead, and you continue to grow and develop it. uh just great story,
Uh-huh.
brother JB.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I would also like to say, I come from a background of hustlers. Okay. Now, the hustling part, the bad part of hustling is the product that you're hustling. Business entrepreneurs, uh, drug dealers, let's just say what it is. Drug dealers are entrepreneurs. They're just selling the wrong product. You know what I mean? The
Mhm.
concept is almost the same though. And I was an ex-hustler. My brothers were ex-hustlers, but we understood what we were doing was tearing down our community and also was putting our freedom in jeopardy. So how could we still hustle legally though,
Mhm.
to where we can make, if not more money, and not have to look over our
That's
shoulders
right. You
by
know how
doing
much
it?
on average? Do you know what a hustler usually makes? Maybe $20 an hour,
If that.
if that. Huh? And you don't put your life on the line, looking over your shoulder, tearing
Mm-hmm.
yourself down, tearing your community down for less than
Mm-hmm.
$20 an hour. You know,
Mm.
ridiculous.
Yep.
So and they set it up to where they make sure, because they make it, the rap artist is out there, oh, I got the bling bling, what, and I got the honeys, and I got the, oh,
Yeah.
whatever you doing. It's like, well, how'd you get it, bruh?
Yeah.
Making less than $20 an hour? I don't think so. Huh?
You
Living
know what?
with my
A
girl,
lot of
and
them,
I don't
a,
think
a
so.
lot of them are not even doing it. They're pushing the message as if they're
That,
doing it.
that's
But
right.
the powers that be that's behind the scenes is pushing them to do that. If they want to talk about anything else other than that, then they won't be on that label.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what makes money, and
Mm-hmm.
they're going to push it out there, even if that means the community being torn down, being torn apart, the man being, you know, put in jeopardy, his life being put in jeopardy because of what this guy's saying.
Emasculated.
Yeah,
Emasculated.
yeah, it's all a part of a grand scheme of things. It's a plan
It's
of the enemy,
emasculation, bro.
and the
You
enemy
got the
has,
honeys. No,
yeah,
you're not being a man. You're being a beast.
yeah,
You're not. You have no self control. When they go, oh, they won't give me a job. Well, you don't want the job anyway. Well, here is an opportunity for us to look at what can we do to invest in ourselves, take the time and not look over our shoulders, invest in ourselves to where we can make money. Because
Yeah.
guess what, guys? It's coming. It's coming. Okay. It's going to be a time to where you're not going to be able to go out there for real and find a job. Now, there's plenty of jobs out there now because they got those stimulus checks coming.
Mm-hmm.
Stimulus checks and plenty jobs or whatever. But a lot of times people aren't even trying to work because
Mm-hmm.
of the stimmy checks.
Yeah. It's and a lot and even before the stimulus, it was more of generation. It's a generational curse that's being passed down from generation to generation. If my mother was on welfare and her mother was on welfare and they made it just fine, then I can be on welfare. And if Uncle Sam is gonna or not Uncle Sam, but if the government, I guess so, can
Yeah.
pay me to have more kids, then I'm gonna have more kids. And then if he says I can't have no man staying here, or they're gonna take this away, then I won't have no man staying here, and I can
Or I
stay here,
won't get
do
married.
nothing.
He'll
There
be
you
here.
go, get married.
He'll
There
just be
it is.
coming out the back door when they
'Cause
come
he's
home.
like, yeah, exactly.
I won't be able to get married, right?
Yeah. So
Because
it's
once
set
I get
up.
married,
It all goes away. So it's set up to where it's convenient for them to just sit and do nothing. And then it's like the education, I think the inner city schools are not teaching the same things that they're teaching out here. So when my kids come with homework or they say they learned this, and I'm like, what? They teach y'all that? They're deliberately not teaching the things that needs to be taught in the inner city school. They call it the prison pipeline for a reason. You know what I mean? And that's a whole nother interview.
a whole nother
But
interview,
that's a
something
whole
we're
nother
gonna
interview.
definitely pick up.
The setup is there. You
It
know what I mean?
is.
But you know, if you need to use my story, you can use my story and have hope and encouragement that you can too do this. You can have any business that you put your mind to, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not just gonna happen. You know what I mean? You have to start somewhere. Put one foot in front of the other, and then you'll look up and say, "Dang, I've started a business and I've been in for 5 years now, or whatever." You
Yeah.
know, so I mean, it can happen for you like it happened for me. But you know, that's just my 2 cents
You
about it.
know, it's more than 2 cents. You
Yeah.
really continue. You know, we're gonna just look. Where is the shop again? So
Yes.
let's get the address to the shop.
Okay.
You want to support? Go to the shop and get your hair cut. Huh? Take your
Amen.
little
Amen.
ones.
Turn-N-Headz Barber Salon, 782 US 40 Highway, Blue Springs, Missouri, 64015. If you
All
needed that, if you needed that too. But hey, we do fades, we do braids, we do bobs, we do whatever. You bring your dog, we'll cut your dog up too. You know what I mean? Uh,
I believe it. I believe
we
it.
have a
But they
we
do
have a
great
kids
work.
room. We have a kids room, so you ain't got to worry about your kids running all
I
around and
forgot
stuff.
about that.
Yeah, we got the kids room
Yeah.
in there. They can sit down, watch cartoons, or play air hockey, whatever they want to do. We got game systems back there, Xbox, PlayStation. We keep them, to where they ain't gonna be running all around and getting on our nerves. But
Mhm.
they can wait their turn, and then they can come get the haircut, and then they can go on their merry way.
Oh yeah.
But we have everything, at your disposal, and hey, come through, get your hair cut, get clean, and hey, get a car. If you need a car, let me know. Let me know. I'm the Hood Carvana, the Entrepot Negro, however you want to call me,
Hey,
I
an
get you.
entrepreneur. See, you know, stimulus checks don't make an economy that's thriving. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Entrepreneurs do.
Yes.
And as soon as the African American, the brown man, the black man understands that, okay, the entrepreneurship and invest in themselves, it's okay
Mhm.
to be selfish. Invest in yourself and then be able to share and take care of a family, right? Do what you need to do on that. That
Mhm.
right there is what makes a strong economy. It makes a strong economy.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to push on obstruction to justice. My favorite topic is business. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
we share about business. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you. I really do appreciate you sharing. And JB, come back. Come back and
Oh
hang
yeah.
with us a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit.
Oh
Huh?
yeah. Just let me. Hey, give me a call. Let me know. I might be working on a car.
Next time,
Or
let's
cutting
show
some
one of the
hair.
cars.
Or
Yeah.
cutting some hair. We didn't even talk about my music, but maybe we could do that next time.
See,
Yeah. Don't worry
no.
about it.
Oh
Don't worry
my
about it. I'll be
goodness.
back.
See,
I'll be back. We'll
please
talk
do.
on some ministry stuff. We can talk on some ministry
Well,
stuff.
we can do that, and we do that on Saturdays too.
Yeah.
So, if you want to talk more ministry, we can go there. We can hit it on a Wednesday and a Saturday because the
Bam.
message is still the same.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
there is grace, there is life in life, and who the life giver is. So yeah,
Amen.
there's no secret here. We Christian, huh?
And
For
his
real
name is
Christian.
Jesus. Okay,
In the
we ain't
name of
so
Jesus.
nothing. His name is Jesus.
There's no secret here. So,
Amen.
I just try to be able this gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit more on the secular level,
Oh
right?
yeah,
To be able to
I understand.
share. But
Hmm.
hey, folks know we go in for real and lift him up. So we're grateful. We're grateful for you too, brother JB.
Yes, ma'am. I thank you. Thank you for having me. This is very cool. Now that I know this is what you do,
This
I'm a
one
tune. I'm
thing.
a
There's
tune
one
in.
thing.
I'm a tune in. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All
Yeah,
right. Sounds
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's one thing, it's one thing that we do. I'm kind of like you. But we'll get a chance to talk more about it. Thank
Okay.
you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Hang in there. Hold
Appreciate
on
it.
a minute. And thank you for joining too. Uh, this is an opportunity, like I said, and I'm not trying to do no big long monologue. But if you know that there's a young person out there that could be encouraged by this broadcast, go ahead and share that link and let them know that this is something that can help them along. And we have the addresses out there if they need their hair cut. If you need a car, go
Come
ahead and
on.
grab that address and get with brother JB. And we're encouraged by it. We'll just go ahead and do what we can. And if the Lord says the same, we'll see you next time.
Justice. Obstruction to justice.
Justice now.